everyone can do bad content at scale.
Once you detect it, it's out.
When you're doing ads on paid social, the less approvals that you can have, the faster you can go.
It's a format. No, it's not a video, it's a format.
Human-powered creativity is what's going to convert the best. Don't make ads, make TikToks.
The UGC market is worth $8.5 billion in 2026 and growing at nearly 29% a year. Between 2024 and 2025 alone, the number of UGC creators grew by 93%. Brands say user-generated content makes their advertising more effective. But we can't help but wonder, haven't we already gotten to the point where audiences have gotten really good at spotting the format? The ring light, the jump cuts, the honest review structure. What's the secret to a performing UGC ad in 2026? And today with us to answer this question, we have Christian Zilio. Christian, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You've worked in companies before. You've spent time in Google, in TikTok, platforms that have shaped what UGC is today. Mm-hmm. And actually, you're currently involved in a really cool project where you're really making a change, right, in the industry. So could you let us know a little bit more about UGC, about ContentJet?
ContentJet is a creative strategy and video production agency. Mm-hmm. So we create content from end to end, from strategy to production to post-production. And it's really something that is meant for advertisers that are looking to scale their activities on paid social and do that profitably. Of course, UGC is definitely the biggest lever that they can pull. Mm-hmm. And we allow advertisers to have access to that infrastructure and for them to scale their campaigns.
When was the moment that you realized UGC as a format was becoming like a default in the performance advertising industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it was literally the day that I joined TikTok. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just to give a bit of context, before TikTok, as you mentioned, I was working at Google. And there, the creative wasn't really too much of an issue. Mm-hmm. Of course, Google being Google, you could get away with having, text, a few images here and there. You have access to a lot of different inventories. When I joined TikTok, I noticed there's only one inventory here that I can really sell or advise my clients to activate, and it's short form video, skippable as well. Actually, back then they had a slogan. Mm-hmm. That said, "Don't make ads, make TikToks."
It's a format. No, it's not a video. It's a format.
Yeah, it's a TikTok. So and you can also notice this with your own behavior on TikTok, right? When you're scrolling and you see some images and they put together some captions on top of it, it's clearly an ad. No one's gonna watch that.
Yeah, actually, that's super interesting that you mentioned that, because obviously UGC, like creators generating this content, right, is a format that has been growing a lot. We can see it a lot more often. Do you think that there has been a change in the perspective or the perception of the audience? Like, is people already spotting, like, are they trying to sell me, or is this genuine?
100%. 100%. So before we used to say that we were a UGC agency. Mm-hmm. Now we say we are a content agency. It's no longer UGC anymore. It's no longer EGC, AIGC. It's just content, video content. Back then, UGC used to work really well because it was new.
Yeah.
So just by putting a person in front of a camera and giving them a script and doing that as an ad used to work really well before because it was new, it looks native, and people were, they didn't really understand what was going on. So those UGC back in the day was working really well. Now that's not necessarily the case. Now you need to do even more organic looking content. Mm-hmm. And you need to make sure that whatever you're trying to post as an ad, it's indistinguishable from content that is organic and is done by someone that just wants to create a good looking piece of content and post it on TikTok to gain views, followers, or whatever. One of the transitions that we've been making in ContentJet is moving away from scripted content. The way that we used to do it before is a creator would receive a content that was done by a creative director, and then they would read, and that's how the video was produced. Going back to your question, nowadays, people know that UGC as an ad format exists, mm-hmm. and they can spot pretty early on, this is an ad, they're trying to sell me. skip. Why? Because when you go to TikTok or Instagram, what do you do in that channel?
Well, I'm just scrolling and getting entertained. I don't know. I'm looking at the things that I want to look.
Exactly. So you don't go to buy, you
Oh,
know?
100%, yeah.
Maybe now TikTok Shop, okay, you want to get inspired, you want to see what to buy, and then you might go in with that intention.
Mm-hmm.
But contrary to what may happen in Google, that you're going already with an intent of,
Yeah.
I want to buy shoes, and that keyword pops up. In TikTok and in Instagram, you're not really looking to buy anything. So when you are showing a user a video, when that person just wants to be entertained, and you're doing it from the point of view of, I want to sell to you, you're going to get skipped.
Yeah, it's going to be a fast scroll.
It's going to be a really
Once
fast
you detect
scroll.
it, it's out.
That's why looking at hook rates and hold rates is really key, because you're determining whether that person is willing to give you 3, 4, 5 seconds of their time to even consider what you want to say. So the hook is really key, and the hold rates of a video is really key, because it tells you already, like, are you able to convince someone in 1 second or less that they should stay and watch the video? If you're not doing that, that's the first problem that you need to solve.
Okay.
Right? Then you can look at conversion rates and other more lower funnel metrics.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure that whatever content you're posting is, 1, catching someone's attention.
Yeah.
And then 2, telling a story in a way that's really going after a specific pain point.
Yeah.
And then 3, converting. Before, scripts, they would work perfect. Oh, it looks like a real human trying to sell me a product that they might have found by their own. That doesn't work anymore. You can clearly tell, and people are noticing that it is an ad. Now you got to create something even more organic, even more native. And the type of content that's performing well now, maybe not tomorrow, but now, it's a really short, trendy video with maybe a couple captions on top, trendy music, and that there's really no way that you can actually tell that it is an ad or not. Then after a few seconds, you may realize that it is an ad, but you already enjoyed that video. And just the fact that you got some entertainment from it made you say, you know what, I'm actually going to consider the offer that they're putting here on the table. You also have to keep in mind, and this is where creative strategy comes into play, which is very key in whatever you do, why my users want to eventually buy my product, and what will be all the different reasons or emotions or pain points that they could have that relate to my product. And that's where you need to start building a creative strategy framework or matrix to do testing in a way that's systematic. So, for example, I want to target a person or a group of people that have this specific pain points that my product solves. So that will be your first pillar in that creative strategy matrix. And then you can just develop your matrix with different pain points. What emotions am I trying to target here? And then how am I going to frame the product in a way that helps solve that specific pain point? And that's how you can determine what type of messaging you can use. Then as a second layer is what we were talking about earlier, how you're going to communicate this.
Yeah.
It has to be catchy, trendy, entertaining, but that's also something that you can systematically test and scale. It's not something that's done randomly.
Yeah.
You want to test, does reverse hook work to convey this specific message to this specific person solving this specific pain point? Maybe yes, maybe not.
You always have to test it.
You have to test it, and you have to keep track of those tests to then see what are we going to double down on, and then what are we just going to completely scrap
Totally.
and get rid of, And you need to be able to do that fast.
Okay.
Because it's also true that nowadays, yes, you got to be native. Yes, you got to be organic. Yes, you got to follow the rules that I've been mentioning now. But if you want to increase your spend and you want to do that profitably, you need to do it at scale.
Yeah.
As well. And that's where brands really start to find those bottlenecks. And that's where we can really step in and help them solve this. And it's not just volume. It's volume in a way that you're also expanding horizontally all the different ways and all the different reasons for why someone should buy your products, and communicate that in hundreds of different ways.
Clearly, UGC and this kind of format requires a lot of knowledge behind. It's not only posting some videos. And actually, I have some questions that I would like to ask you where we can dive deep into the strategy and pick up your brain.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I would like to make even like a step back. Why do companies should invest in UGC? Like, what is it about UGC that makes it so appealing?
Remember, it's no longer UGC content. It could be anything. It could be AI generated content,
Okay.
employee generated content, whatever you want to call it. If you want to scale on paid social, there's no other way around it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single brand in the world that is able to do 7 million, 5 million a quarter on spend and is not testing hundreds, if not thousands of ads per quarter as well. There is no way.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're in performance, your spend is directly correlated with the amount of videos that you are able to upload and test.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually hit a ceiling. So if I don't produce more assets, I cannot increase my spend without compromising my CPA and my profitability. So it's not a matter of it's better or not. It's just a matter of you're going to be physically unable to grow your spend if you don't figure out content first, especially on paid social platforms like Instagram and TikTok, Snapchat, and the rest.
I was making a reflection before interviewing you, right? How, and it's still to this day, it's a format that works working with influencers, right?
Yeah.
But I will say UGC. I feel like maybe I can't say it, but UGC, when you can relate to the person, to the message, at some point you can figure out maybe that it's advertisement, but it's someone that speaks your language, right?
Yeah, I love that question because I think in 2026, it's probably one of the most underrated formats that you can use, even for brands that would have never thought that this would have worked for them, are now finding really strong success with influencers. So I think all the fact that AI is becoming such a thing now is just really boosting the importance that influencers have nowadays in the creator economy. And the amount of desire that brands have to work with these influencers has grown dramatically. And I think one of the reasons why is because content has become so democratized and so easy to produce at scale, especially with the use of AI, that there is an insane amount of slop in our feeds. Crappy content is easy to do. That's not an issue anymore. Everyone can do content at scale. Everyone can do bad content at scale.
Totally.
That's easy. The backlash that AI content is receiving from users is what's boosting the influencer because they don't want to be targeted with slop. They are tired of seeing slop. They are tired of seeing AI generated garbage on their feeds. They want to connect with real people, real humans, real authenticity. And I think this is just going to keep on growing at the same speed or even faster than AI content creation is growing.
Still, obviously, AI is involved in so many decisions, even in the creative moment, no?
Yeah.
How to get inspired and so. But the delivery of the message, unless it's intentionally AI, you want to put it out there, as you were mentioning before.
And I'm not anti-AI. I love
Yeah.
AI. I want to make that very clear because
And record it.
yes,
Don't go against.
I love AI, and all of our processes are heavily AI driven. The way that we optimize processes, the way that we collect information, analyze data. We use AI a lot. We even do content with AI as well. When it's intentional, it's our recommendation, and it's something that we lean into. When you're trying to, sneak it to the user, that's when we typically see that performance is it's not helping a lot. AI generated content, it's like fast food. It's like McDonald's, You can eat one every once in a while, but if your entire diet is fast food, you're gonna start having some issues, And access to fast food has always been easy and quick to produce as well. But if you want to really engage, impress, and grow a brand, you can't get away with slop. You have to go to a 5-star restaurant,
Do you see any trend in UGC content, in video, any trends that are happening right now in terms of any specific content that is on the rise? some that are declining. I've seen some transitions, for example,
Yeah.
right?
Rage bait.
Yeah, I love those things, but
Yeah. The thing is, if I give an answer now, by the time the video's out,
true.
that trend's gonna be outdated.
fast, no?
It's so fast. So the goal is always just to stay on top of trends.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a team of creative strategists, and those are the people that are doing the briefs, they need to be having some big screen times and being in TikTok and Instagram all day and looking at those trends and what those are, and be quick to go to market with them. But what I'm seeing now that I'm really enjoying, and I think goes well to the points that I was making earlier about AI content and how you can use it to your advantage and in a really positive way. I love the trend of the AI fruits that do like a Love Island. Have you seen that trend?
No, man.
Blew up, like millions and millions of views, and people are loving it. And it's AI content, yes, but it's done in a way that
It's appealing.
you're not trying to scheme anyone with trying to think that that's not AI. Like, it's clearly AI. It's done purposely, and people are engaging with that type of content.
And actually connects with what you were saying before. People is going to those platforms to get entertained.
Yeah.
And that's entertainment,
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah.
And with these trends, you said this is fast. What you're mentioning something that maybe later it's not even updated, but how important it is to ride the wave in time, no? Because some people also wants to ride the wave maybe too late.
That's why when you're doing ads on paid social, the less approvals that you can have, the faster you can go. If you're having to go through direction, the executives, 5 different layers of approval, you're not going to be able to ever be relevant and be tapping into those trends that are happening in the moments that go by super quickly. So you have to try and not take paid social that seriously, because it's not that serious.
Mm-hmm.
You do have a brand that you need to follow, and you can have some strong brand guidelines, but just have fun with it. It's still social. People,
Totally.
again, go to be entertained, and brands that are really able to do that in a quick way and adapting to trends are going to win on paid social, organically or unpaid. Take Ryanair, for example. Why is an airline so relevant on social media, and why are they so damn good?
Yeah.
And it's because they have a person that gets it, and they leaned into doing social media the right way, and then they have the strategy of making fun of themselves and whatnot. But that's a really good example of a brand that's doing it pretty well.
Is there any mistake that you can see when someone tries to start creating content with creators, etc.? Is there any common mistake that you see?
So I would say that there's a few common mistakes. I mean, the first one is not doing enough videos. That's for sure. You need to have a diversity in your content, and volume is definitely a key. But the second part is knowing that you need to do volume, and then just doing volume, but that looks the same. So it's not only about volume, it's about diversity. And this is something that the algorithms as well from the platforms have changed recently to benefit from the fact that advertisers are doing diverse creatives and not just going after the same thing over and over. So if you on Meta, for example, you're doing the same concept video 100 times, Meta's gonna punish that ad.
They're gonna spot it and say, we need creativity, we need something new.
It's too repetitive. And the way that the algorithms are set up right now, they're hyper targeted. They know way more than us, and they know exactly who to put this video in front of, and they're able to understand what's being said in that video and who to put it in front. So what you really need to do, or one mistake that you need to avoid, is not pre-planning your production and not building a creative strategy matrix or framework. So a systematic way for you to do testing at scale, and a way for you to come up with all the different pain points that your users might be facing, all the different emotions that they might be feeling, all the different solutions that you can recommend to them, and then all the different ways that you can communicate that, and start testing and start seeing those results.
I like that. So actually the mistake would be to just rely on a creativity too early on without having even tested it, no?
Yeah.
You really need that volume to really make the right decision, no?
Volume and diversity of creatives, not of creators, not of anything that's not diversity in how you're communicating this, why you're communicating it, and the different styles of how you communicate that, you know? So brands that rely on, you know, this is my best performer, let me do 500 variations of it. No, like you should definitely do variations of a top performer and find different ways to continue using a concept that's already been proven, but never stop experimenting with new concepts, new angles, new ideas, new hooks, new anything, you know? Your content needs to be evolving in time. And the performance data is going to tell you what direction you can really start pushing a lot on, but you can't be repetitive with the content or with something that works. Yeah, it's all about testing. You said it. So, you know what always ends up happening? The video that your clients didn't want it to test is the one that ends up performing the best. And the video that you think is going to work best is one that's probably going to tank. Because you can put, still, at the end of the day, you can put in so much thought behind a video and you can have the world's best creative strategist. Sometimes what performs in a video, it's the most random of things. It could be the hair of the creator that just people were attracted to. It could be the way that they said a funny thing, or how when they opened the fridge, there was an item that was misplaced and you're like, why do they have the control remote on the fridge? You know, it's the most random of things that are going to eventually be very impactful in the performance of a video.
That's super curious how organic content can create those moments where sometimes are not even planned,
Yeah.
but people is looking for organic too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why sometimes videos that get viral are so random. Like there's no AI that's going to be able to script something as random as a lot of the videos that become viral.
Some people wakes up in the morning and they are viral without having done anything or planned anything. Like
Exactly.
these people, like, but if you had to put it in a framework, what would be the steps for imagine a brand that wants to start from scratch, some UGC content, etc. What would be the steps, and who do you think should be involved in making those decisions?
The creative strategist. So this is a role that's pretty new, and it's not only new, but it has evolved a lot in the last few years. Even internally in ContentJet, the role of the creative strategist has evolved dramatically. Before, it used to be separated, maybe into 4 different people doing the role of what one creative strategist does now. And what is expected from a creative strategist nowadays is completely different from what it was 2 years ago. You know, 2 years ago, creative strategists were more creatives. They would come up with concepts. You know, there were people that know how to do really good content. Now, a creative strategist, they need to understand performance. They need to read performance data. They need to know what performance data actually means and what they need to change based on what that performance data is saying. And also, they got to be creative as well. So having a profile like that in your company or becoming one yourself is the number one thing that I would do if I would start my content journey.
Totally. And I think the evolution of the creative strategist, as you were mentioning,
Yeah.
I think clearly defines bridging a gap, no, between creatives and just like things that have to look pretty. Performance is important too. So if you have someone that can speak both languages, you can save a lot of time there, no?
That is precisely one of the biggest changes that we're making now in ContentJet. We're bridging the gap between creative strategist, creative director, and just combining that into one unified role. Because it's what the market is asking for, where that role is evolving towards, and there's no other way around it. I was recently doing a course on creative strategy from one of our partners as well, Motion, and they talked about how this role has evolved, and it's very true. Even creators themselves, they're no longer just creators. They're also becoming creative strategists by themselves, because the ones that keep on getting more work are the ones that are asking about, how did my video perform? Can you send me the performance data? I can recommend some iterations, or I can recommend a different way of communicating this. And that's something that's going all the way down to the creator. And the ones that are becoming the top creators and becoming big, they are creative strategists at heart, and they understand performance data.
What are the steps before we create that content? What would be the strategy here for a brand that wants to start from zero?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of research, right? A lot of research into your users and customers' pain points. So what are we really helping them solve? Go into your store reviews, read the positive reviews, read the negative reviews, go to Reddit, go to your competitors, talk to your customers. That's where you get the most valuable information. And that's how you can know how to match whatever type of content you're doing with the emotional side of things, because you need to match it with an emotional point. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter how creative you are. If you're just like straight up selling and you're not really telling me the reason why, I'm never going to purchase that product. So if you're a dating app, for example, you need to think all the different motives or pain points that someone might have that would cause them to download a dating app. It's not meet girls near you.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, don't spend your Sundays alone.
Yeah, it has to hurt a little bit.
It's like, and you're there on a Sunday alone eating ice cream and you're like, fuck, I gotta download this app.
Be nice, yeah.
So go after the emotion and the pain point and then offer the solution and do it in a creative way, and you're gonna be able to win.
Let's say user-generated content, that person that you can relate to. Does it work everywhere? Maybe it works in a different way. What do you think here?
UGC doesn't work for all brands. And I can give you a really good example.
Okay.
So have you ever seen one of those ads that is a soap opera? Those are apps that are basically short soap operas.
I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, they're growing a lot.
Yeah, they're growing a lot. They're making millions,
Yeah.
some of those apps. You don't need UGC for that. Why? Because your product is the creative, right? The hook has already been done. You get hooked by the story, and then you continue watching the story, and they already showed you their product. That is the product. So they don't need a person on top of that video saying to you, download now. Like, no. If you want to keep watching, just download the app. And they're having really good success with this type of content. So for them, that doesn't work. Also the same for those scroll and learn. Those mini stories that you get that are done with AI, that they tell you about the story of what happened with AI. I consume that ad from beginning to end because I'm interested in that story. Yeah. I want to know what happened with, I don't know, the tea revolution in India in 1915.
Yeah.
Like,
these things trap you. It's true.
I want to know what happened, and they tell you the story. I'm like 3 minutes in and I'm still watching that ad, and it's really interesting. Those type of brands, they don't need UGC.
Christian, you manage lots of creators right now with ContentJet. You have a great network there. For some brands, for some agencies, this might be a little bit more tricky, but I would like to understand, how are you currently choosing the top creators for a project?
That is one of the hardest things to do, is to find the right creators. Because a creator, it's probably 99% of the performance of a video is having a good creator. Finding the right ones is very challenging, but definitely very beneficial for a brand or an agency.
Because I understand that different parts play part here, no? It's the audience that you want to reach, the niche.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need someone super popular. You just need someone that speaks that language.
Yeah. Whatever works for your brand works, So for some brands, they need to work with celebrities. For other brands, they can work with macro creators. Some other brands, they just want to have the Spark ad code or the whitelisting code. So the ad is shown posted from the profile of a real person. That's a really good strategy that's working now. For other brands, they just need someone that can be good in front of the camera. And that's pretty much it. Back when UGC was starting, just a good creator was enough. You didn't really need a following size or anything big. You just needed to be good in front of the camera. There's so many bad videos, and there's so many things that could be bad in a video. It could be the fact that it's just not native in the platform.
I would like to ask you, in terms of trends, things that are happening. We talked a little bit about AI, how, in your opinion, about floppy videos, right?
Yeah.
Are there other things that are happening in the market that maybe some marketers are not identifying that they should be aware of?
you have to be using AI to improve processes, to help you do research, to understand performance data, to make decisions a lot quicker as well. Um, to play around with it as well and do content with AI. But especially on analyzing data and being able to have actionable insights really quickly. So there's a lot of this new creative analytics platforms that are popping up that are super helpful to just make the role of the creative strategist a lot faster and not having them spend hours on, manual data pools and Excel files. There's a lot of tools out there to help you be super precise and super fast with how you're reading performance data and getting actionable insights from it. So that's definitely one of the things that I would say. Definitely the fact that creator-led content is becoming very popular now. It's always been popular, but now it's been a renaissance.
peaking, yeah.
Yeah, it's peaking back again. And I think it's because people are craving authenticity. I think there's a lot of backlash on AI-generated, I wouldn't say content, but AI slop. Not only in video content, but across the board. When you read a LinkedIn post,
So many comments about LinkedIn and how it's not authentic anymore.
when you see a LinkedIn comment and full of those,
The long dash,
the long dash, and like you can clearly tell the way that it's written, it's AI, it's an automatic skip. It's an automatic skip. So that's also a trend that I'm seeing that it's happening that we have to be careful of. You don't want to fall in that trap, and you don't want to think that an AI workflow will generate 5,000 million variations for you and you're going to be successful with that. Take it with a grain of salt, and don't forget that human-powered creativity is what's going to convert the best.
I love that. And you still have, maybe the trend is humanity, like human touch,
Yeah.
Like the trend is like putting the human touch in everything that we do, because obviously AI will be involved, but we need to touch on that emotion and that connection, no?
Exactly. And that's why you're seeing posts on LinkedIn now that are having a lot of success, which are written by hand, picture taken, and posted. Because you want to show that this is an actually authentic post that you wrote by hand and you posted it, and there's no way of telling you that this is not AI generated.
Yeah. At some point, to be honest, I also end up feeling like it's like a thing that eats its own tail. Like we are all the time proving that something is
Yeah.
not, and then. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's the beauty of this too. You have to be riding the wave in the moment, understanding what's needed right now to make like the right effort, no, and send the right message.
Exactly.
It's not the end of the interview. Actually, we have prepared a little game for you.
Okay.
We're gonna have a look into some case studies of your own production, so you can walk us through what happened there, what was the intention, and we will ask you a couple of questions. So the first video that we have here, it's the Deezer case.
I don't want to unknowingly support AI clones when real artists deserve the credit. That's why I use Deezer. Deezer makes it clear if a track is AI made or human. We've been leading the way in transparent music labeling, so you always know what you're listening to. Discover music with full transparency. Get Deezer.
That video had 5.75% CTR.
Damn.
Which is a vanity metric, I know, but it's still very impressive. 575 CTR with spend. It's not like it had $100 of spend.
Way over average. Like,
yeah. I can't really pinpoint why exactly that video works. I mean, the creator is awesome, Erica. She's leading our creator community now. Yeah, she's amazing as a creator, so that definitely helps. And I think the hook attacks a pain point really quickly. I don't want to promote AI unknowingly, which is something that you may or may not know is an issue. And if you're an artist that you really value other artists' work, that's definitely something you don't want to do. So I think that immediately catches the user's attention and someone that might be facing this this specific challenge. And then it was explained in a way that was really easy to understand. And the video itself is really nice. The editing is also pretty good.
And for this campaign, you actually produced 28 videos.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Is there a specific number of videos or minimum that you have to create for a campaign?
Depends on the budget. But if you're already spending over 30K a month, you can already test 30 creators a week. Like there's really no, the more the better. That's always the case.
Okay.
So just make sure that you're testing with 10-20% of your overall budget to test, and as many videos as you can possibly produce without hurting your bottom line.
We have another one. So FitX. Let's click into this one.
Willst du wissen, welches Fitnessstudio meiner Meinung nach das Beste ist? Mit 24/7 Zugang, Trainingsbereich mit modernster Ausstattung, Live-Kursen für alle Level sowie kostenlosen Getränken, persönlichen Trainingsplänen und Duschen bietet FitX alles, was du für deine Fitness brauchst. Und das für nur 29 € im Monat. Wenn du dich jetzt anmeldest, kannst du die 29 € Anmeldegebühr sparen. Hol dir das Angebot jetzt!
Okay, obviously I didn't understand anything after the horse, but actually I think we talked about it during the interview, this kind of trend where there was like an accident or there's something happening and there's kind of a transition, right? Like
Exactly. So this was actually a TikTok case study as well. With FitX. It's a German gym, local, not local, physical gym. And they were trying to increase their online registrations. And with the contents that we did for them, which as you can tell is very organic, and with the hook, we managed to get people to watch the video, and then the offer itself was pretty good. So I have to give this all to the hook.
Yeah.
That was made by one of our creative directors. She's called Linnea. She's featured in the TikTok case study, and then she was nominated for the TikTok Ad Awards.
Shut up.
Yeah, for another client of ours. And she's really good with this type of hooks. And I think here is just the hook. The offer was really good. And once you stayed in the video, you listen to the offer. So if the offer is good, then people are going to convert.
Totally, it makes total sense. And look, I don't know how many of these videos I've seen, but I've seen them all. And you wait because you want to see the transition again. You have to watch it. So it just works, you know? You have to ride the trend too.
I mean, those hooks, that's a pretty old video, but I think those hooks to this day, they can still work.
Yeah.
It's just funny. You mentioned it, the rage bait one. Like, you can't believe what happened to me with the Snapchats.
Yes.
Because it looks really organic. And then there's someone like crossing the street and they throw the coffee at the car, and then they open the window and the ad starts. They're pitching you the service.
Those are crazy.
Those are good.
The last one, okay? Nova AI. Let's watch the video together.
I wasn't ready for the things I found out about my mom. This app is dangerous.
I wanted to see what Nova AI's web search feature could do. I pulled up things I didn't even know existed. It's literally so creepy. Try it and prepare to be surprised. You'll want to know what's out there.
Honestly, here, it looks a little bit, and I can connect it to the soap opera thing you were mentioning. Like they're looking for the drama, the gossip.
Yeah, so many things that went right here. The hook is really organic, reply to comment. So it's like you don't tell that it's an ad from the beginning, and then the hook is reverse psychology. Like you don't want to test this app, so that makes you intrigued to watch more about the video, and then the app is actually pretty cool as well. So I think that's what really made this video stand out and work really well. Yeah, it's a combination of different factors. The creator is also pretty good,
and you always want to know the gossip, the drama. So
there you go. Yeah.
You stay till the end. Do you think that these formats can also generate the opposite? Like maybe don't generate the trust? What do you think about that?
Well, for example, the gym one, if you went straight into the offer, like you didn't even try to like entertain me, you know?
Yeah.
The fact that you gave me that dopamine hit and then you told me your offer was like, okay, I'm listening.
We always do one last thing, to close it up, which is we come up together with the 3 points or takeaways that people can bring home. I really like that you mentioned that AI is great, right? And AI can provide inspiration, speed up our workflows, but don't forget to hit the emotion part, no? The part where you can relate. So when you're looking for the pain point or when you're trying to convey something, always look for that emotion when you're creating, right?
Yeah.
I have another one that I really like that you mentioned, and I'm taking it for the people that I'm talking to every day.
Okay.
Testing. There's never enough testing. So amount is important. And I think we can also connect it with the creative strategies, how the position is evolving. Like not only the amount and testing creativity is important, but also analyzing and being efficient, right? So
last one, be native, you know, have fun with it. Like at the end of the day, you're still advertising on an entertainment platform. Don't forget about that. You're not advertising on a billboard. You're not advertising on a TV. You're advertising on an entertainment platform. So think outside of the box, try weird things, but don't make an ad.
Yeah.
If you don't make an ad, don't script it too much, don't polish it too much. Scrappy, organic looking videos are gonna outperform your studio shoots that you spent 20 times more as well,
Totally.
just because it looks like it belongs. And then everything else that surrounds a good psychology, of how to make a good video is also still true. Emotions, pain points, that's advertising, basics from since the day advertising was born, are still true to this day.
Thank you, Christian. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Thanks for having me.